doing 3 weddings in 1 weekend, joined by Liam Good. We're using the Osmo Pocket 3, so it'll track my face, and I have to position it. There we go. Photographing 3 weddings in 1 weekend sounds impossible. This video is going to be split up into 3 sections. 1 is physically how. That's Liam, by the way. He shoots a lot of triples. Second is, what was second? What was second? The second part is workflow and how to actually do that and not lose footage and photos. And third, the marketing behind it and how to actually book 3 weddings in 1 weekend. Let's begin. Hello there, Liam.
Hello. I'm Liam Good. I'm a wedding photographer from Kitchener, Ontario, basically the same city as Taylor. I typically shoot like 40, 50 weddings a year, and I love what I do. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk first, maybe a little primer. Shooting 3 weddings in 1 weekend. Do you enjoy doing it? Do you stress out? Do you do it often? Is it something you try to avoid a little bit?
Great question. So with shooting triple wedding weekends, shooting 3 weddings in a weekend, it's something that I don't actively try to do. I actively try to book 1 wedding a weekend in my main season. 2, totally fine with that. If 3 comes up, I will take it on, depending on my schedule, of course, but I don't actively try to book triple wedding weekends only because it is pretty taxing from like a mental and physical standpoint. I've also got 2 children, so everything I do, I still want to be able to like wake up the next day and like take them to the park and like feed them their blueberries and like do normal dad things. And after 3 weddings, it's a little bit difficult to do that. But I will say, I've been shooting weddings for like 9 years now, and the first 6 years of that, I completely avoided training myself for the physical side of shooting weddings whatsoever. And then a few years ago, I realized that like sitting at my desk from like Monday morning until like Friday evening, or Monday to like Thursday, and then shooting like 3 weddings back to back was a recipe for disaster for myself. I would just lie in bed the next day, couldn't do anything, couldn't feed the blueberries, couldn't take the kids to the park, couldn't do anything except lie there and have horrible back problems. And I don't know if you can like insert that Arrested Development clip of Tobias like crying in the shower. I was just so spent after weddings. So trained for it throughout the week. Now things are a lot better. I can do it physically a lot better than I could a few years ago, but it still can be pretty exhausting. So yeah.
And what have you changed physically to actually be able to handle triples better?
Lots of squats. Lots of squats with weights. That's pretty much it. Squats with weights for your legs, anything related to your back. Anything related to like rowing motions or like pulling things. Again, used to have a lot of like shoulder pain, even though I feel like my gear has gotten like more and more minimal throughout the years. I used to have a ton of shoulder pain after weddings and like actual like, I was getting like massages every single week, which was just a Band-Aid solution. And now I can't remember the last time I had a massage, but I generally don't have any like leg or back pain after a wedding. Or if I do, it goes away pretty quickly.
I like that you said minimal kit while you're holding an Nikon Z9 with a 50mm 1.2.
This is exhausting.
It's not the 85 one,
yes,
at least.
This is true.
But that is the biggest lens in your kit. Everything else is pretty small.
Yeah, I shoot the majority of my work on this, so it's okay. But definitely, I will also say, training with the weights does help with the the wrist fatigue. It doesn't have to be extreme, but just don't go from nothing to 3 weddings every single weekend. Try to find some consistency, try to find some balance in between.
Hello, Lindsay Coulter. What are your tips for shooting triple wedding weekends? Starting with number 1, how to physically do it.
How to physically shoot a triple wedding weekend. Well, if you're going to shoot a triple wedding weekend, I would say prep yourself as much as you can leading up to it. Drink a bunch of water, eat a good protein-filled meal before your weddings. Yeah, make sure that your mental game is set so that you know exactly what you're doing going into it and you're not stressing out on day 2 about what happens on day 3. Electrolytes are good. Hydrolyte. Don't eat food that makes you crash and burn.
Now, part 2 of the video, workflow. What does your workflow look like when you are doing back-to-back weddings?
When I am doing back-to-back weddings, whether it's 2 weddings or 3 weddings in a weekend, I try to be insanely on top of my workflow. I mean, always, but especially when you've got a lot going on. I would say step one is actually not related to camera equipment, is related to questionnaires that I send to couples. I have couples, it's a little bit of a chore for them, but it only takes like 5 minutes. I have them fill out a pre-wedding day questionnaire about a month before their wedding with all the addresses, all the family photos, everything I need to know, the names of the parents and wedding party members that are a part of the day. Everything goes in one page so that when that weekend weekend comes up, I don't have to go through, instead of going through emails with one couple, I don't have to go through like 50 emails from 3 different couples with different addresses. It streamlines my processes. It makes sure that I'm going to show up to the right places. I have actually showed up at one wedding a few years ago where I showed up to like a hair salon and there was nobody there. And I was like, what's going on? So I waited there a little bit and then I called somebody and they're like, oh, we switched the location and we forgot to update the questionnaire. So it was nice that it was very clearly not my fault. And I was so early to the hair salon that I ended up getting to their house with the location that they changed with still like, I was still 10, 15 minutes early at the very least. So workflow wise, questionnaire, get all the information that way, have one place per wedding day that people fill out. At the end of the day, have your hard drives, have your triple backup, have your dual cards that you shoot to. I will often back up on site as well if I have a busy weekend, just so that there's a little bit less to do when I get home. I actually really like shooting a camera body that has a big battery in it, because when I get home, there's only 1 or 2 batteries to plug in. There might be 1 or 2 for my other camera, but everything's charged and ready to go the next day. I don't have to charge like 8, 9, 10 different batteries. Same thing, I use pretty big memory cards across all my cameras. So if I show up the next day and don't have a formatted card, I probably still have enough room on it from the wedding the day before or something like that. So just think through these little things. It'll make your life so much easier if you do have 3 weddings in a weekend.
Workflow wise, I get all of my cards ready for all 3 days ahead of time. And then make sure that you are charging your batteries. Like the second that you get home, you're not leaving anything until the morning of a wedding when you're shooting a triple. You probably shouldn't do that anyways. Make sure that your schedules are all perfectly laid out so you don't have to do any guesswork leading up to the wedding. And then I also always bring my computer and a hard drive, and I start doing my backup, cull, and edit using Imagen at the reception. And I do that for all of my weddings, but it's especially important during a triple so that on Monday after a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're not looking down the barrel of like 20,000 images that you now have to back up, cull, and edit.
I'm gonna punch in here for a moment. Liam and I on the Friday, we did a hybrid photo video wedding day. So we shot both photography and video. And if that is something that you're interested in, you can just outsource the video. There's a link in the description for Wanderlust videos that you just upload the footage and they will send you a final project with editing and color grading and everything. So you don't have to worry too much about any of that stuff. So if you are interested in doing hybrid, check out that link and get a discount on your first order with Wanderlust videos. And the last part of this video, how do you actually book 3 weddings in a weekend?
Oh.
What was your process? What was your first few that came in?
How do you book 3 weddings in a weekend? I feel like it's the Taylor Jackson approach of just like creating a surround sound of your business, of your brand, especially in your area, in your local market. The longer that I've done this, again, I've been shooting weddings for 9 years now. I've been full-time for like 3-4 years at this point, and it's just gotten better the longer that I've done it. But the longer that I've done it, the more I've realized there's not going to be one single thing that is going to book you triple wedding weekends, that's going to book you the destination weddings, that's going to book you a full season. It's not going to be that one course about Facebook ads or that one thing that finally, you might have some standout things like that, but the longer that I've done this, the more that I've realized it's a lot of small touch points, a lot of consistency across the board in terms of your venue relationships, in terms of those Facebook ads, in terms of maybe you do want to shoot hybrid photo video and you do want to learn that because that brings a little bit more value for the couples that book you, and that makes you a little bit more of a diversified professional rather than just doing one specific thing. It's a lot of different things. So I will say the things that book me the most work are venue referrals, being on preferred vendor lists, creating those connections throughout the years, and I do run Facebook and Instagram ads to bring in those leads, bring in those couples as well. Blogging, SEO, all of that kind of stuff. Again, it's not that one thing that's going to book you weddings. It's probably going to be a couple comes across your blog post and then they're like, oh, this venue's cool. This guy seems cool. We're going to book the venue. And then they see that your name is on the preferred list and then they come to you and you meet, and maybe they saw a Facebook ad in the meantime. do these things, have these little touch points with people, and then by the end, they'll book you, they'll pay you their money, and you'll shoot their wedding. So I think that's my formula for booking triple wedding weekends.
How to do the marketing to book 3 weddings in a weekend? Well, I guess the first question is, do you want to book 3 weddings in a weekend? And I guess if you want to know how to market them, the answer to that is probably yes, you do want to book 3. It really comes down to trying a lot of different things and seeing what works. I would target the venues local to you. If you're going to try to shoot 3 weddings in a weekend, you don't want one of them to be 3 hours away. So really heavily target your SEO, blogs, and all of your social media to be venues in your local area. Blogging, a really great website, like a focal website. And strong, consistent social media. Posting every single day on your stories, probably posting 3 reels a week is going to really, really help. Bye.
Another tip for triple wedding weekends is download your cards on the way home. So just put in the passenger seat, let it copy over. So when you get home, it's just all done. And you can go to bed, start your cloud upload, maybe even call if you're feeling ambitious. And then you get to sleep and you know everything's backed up and all good. Then you start the next day off fresh. Then you click next, generates your reel. This has audio as well and everything's perfectly beat matched. I just can't use that audio here. Nice, right? Easy way to make reels. Check it out and I guess use the link in the description and I think you get a free month. 3 weddings in one weekend update. It is now Saturday morning, if you can see that in the corner, 8:01 a.m. I came home and I quickly culled through this last night. So all the images I have sent to Imagen and they are all just done. So yeah, again, use that link to Imagen in the link below because you get 1,500 free edits. And this is just the basic edit. Let's look at another one. The other cool thing is it will also straighten images for you so you can see that the lines in here are actually properly straight. And that's it, done. Already exporting. Final gallery should probably be ready by about maybe 9 a.m. I'll send them some previews today before we go to the wedding. And on to wedding day, number 2. Look how good that looks. Original, that's not it. Original, edit with Imagen. Boom, go get those 1,500 free edits. If you use their real website, you only get 1,000. Use the link in the description, you get 1,500. Third wedding of the weekend, Nikon ZF. And today I'm going to be using the Tamron 28-75 f2. I'm looking at the screen, I'm not looking at you. And we have another beautiful day. I think another thing to consider if you do know you're going to be doing a lot of volume, and myself would be considered a volume studio. I think Lindsay maybe more luxury space, but still does lots of volume and also does families and also does branding sessions and a lot of other stuff. I primarily do weddings and content here on YouTube. And I think another thing to consider is the packages that you put together. In the beginning, in your first year, you're not gonna have a whole lot of control over very selectively having the couples both approach you that you want to shoot weddings for, as well as offering the service that they want. I think as the years go by, you're able to bring the scope in a little bit and you're able to shoot the weddings that you want to shoot and the packages that you want to shoot. So what I mean by that is in the very beginning, I was shooting a lot of salon coverage in the morning. So like 9 a.m. I'd be at the salon, which I haven't been to a salon in like 15 years now. And I would be with them pretty much until last dance. And last dance in Canada is usually 1 or 2 a.m. So it's not like it's a 10 p.m. or an 11 p.m. and then into an after party like a lot of the weddings that I've done in the States are. It is a full day. It is a 9 a.m. or maybe even earlier if there's another ceremony in the morning, which is pretty common when I was doing those all-day events. And those really weren't that much fun for me, and they definitely were not scalable, so I wasn't able to do 3 weddings in one weekend, or if you're doing those intensive days, it's just impossible. I dialed my packages back. My most common package is now 8 hours. So I'm here right now and have a 1 p.m. start, and that means that I'm going to be working until 9 p.m. I'll go home. It's about an hour drive home. I'll download all my footage, or maybe I'll download it in the car or at the reception. And when I get home, I will actually just sit down and I'll quickly call through my wedding. I love AI tools for culling though. I find that it's kind of roughly comparable. So by the time it takes AI to call and come back, I can usually just do it. And the other thing is that then if I just do the call is done. Whereas if you're using AI to call, you still have to go in and refine. And I find that maybe takes another 20, 30 minutes. Whereas this wedding day, I'll be able to make all of my selects probably in maybe 25 minutes total, I would say. And then I send those to Imagen. Again, link in the description to get started with that. 1,500 free edits rather than the 1,000 that they normally give you. And at that point, I'll usually go to bed. And I'll wake up in the morning. My gallery will be fresh. I'll have some fresh eyes on it, and I will go through. I'll make any fine tweaks. There's maybe, I would say, 5 images per wedding that Imagen just doesn't get exactly as I would want. So I change those up. I send it for fine tuning so that it updates my profile for the next time so that it's able to get even more accurate. Then I sync all the cameras. If there's multiple cameras, it's probably just gonna be one camera today, to be honest. And then I upload the gallery. So the gallery is online, and it's now not only an offsite backup of files, but it's actually the final gallery is backed up and offsite by like usually maybe 10 or 11 a.m. the next day. So far, yesterday's gallery is up. Lindsay's actually called the entire wedding day. She's driving to Windsor, which is a place like 3 hours from here. I think they sat at a Starbucks or something for a little bit and just went through yesterday's wedding. So that is done. I am done Friday's wedding, and now on to Sunday. And there it is, how to shoot 3 weddings in one weekend, from the actual physical to the workflow to actually how to market it. If you're interested in learning more about the marketing side of it, I have a lot of courses. You can learn Flash both on camera and off camera for wedding photographers, as well as a ton of other content over on the member site. But a lot of it is business education, which is, I would say, the most important part to actually learning to book multiple wedding weekends like this. Thanks so much to Liam for being part of this video, as well as my wife, Lindsay Coulter. Go check them out as well. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching.